Over 2 million people live in Riverside County without a local news perspective. Until now. Spirit of Innovation, bringing you the need-to-know and good-to-know local, regional, county news, creating community and inspiration for business and residents.
Hello, I'm Gabriela Venturo. Welcome to Spirit of Innovation, a monthly magazine news and information show brought to you by nonprofit JDS Creative Academy. The hashtag JDS family produced a lot of this episode while still working remotely. After the governor lifted his stay-at-home orders this week, we finished up here at the studio with a small crew while the rest of the team is still working from home. We have a lot coming up, including the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, a look at the impact of the cannabis industry on Riverside County, a review of a few new 2021 laws that affect all of us, and a very unique DIY project that you won't want to miss. Let's get with what you need to know right now. This is the time of year when normally all we have to worry about is catching a cold or maybe the flu. But with COVID-19 in the mix, we don't know if that little morning sniffle is concerning or not. If in any doubt, definitely get the COVID test, but while you're waiting for your results, you can check out the symptoms on Kaiser Permanente's website. You'll see that a stuffy nose and sneezing is not a typical COVID symptom, but loss of taste and smell is never seen in colds or the flu. We have a link to this important information on our website. On January 25th, the governor rescinded the state's stay-at-home orders due to projections showing greater ICU capacity. According to Eisenhower Health, Riverside County's number of hospitalizations are indeed trending downwards. However, we are still in the most restrictive purple tier with an average of over 4,300 new cases daily. So it's understandable that many county residents wonder when they will be able to get their vaccines. Right now, vaccines are offered to those in Phase 1A, all tiers, and Phase 1B, Tier 1. These include those working in healthcare, education, childcare, emergency services, and the food and agriculture industries. On January 14th, the county announced that anyone 65 or older can also get a vaccine. This is good news because even though these vaccines were developed quickly, they are FDA approved and proven to be safe and effective with no serious side effects. We visited one of Riverside County's first vaccine sites and met with county officials to learn more.
The vaccine is one of the most important tools we have to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Riverside County is working hard to distribute the vaccine as quickly as possible.
People can find out where the vaccine is available to them by going to our website. They'll be able to see what phase and tier we are currently in, and it will also tell you some current vaccine clinics that are available for people to register within those groups.
As of this taping, the county's vaccine website, ruhealth.org/COVID-19-vaccine, lists 5 vaccine clinic locations.
And once you come here, you have to show proof that you are who you are. We also want to remind people that if you don't make an appointment and you show up, you're not going to get the vaccine. You need to make an appointment.
I am here for my first vaccine, my first shot, and I am really excited that I got to go on the first day open to seniors. This was well organized. Everything was done, I guess the word is right. I'm sitting in the waiting area post-vaccine. I can't speak for my wife, but I can tell you I feel fine.
I also feel good. Looking forward to shot number 2 and getting on with life.
While many in the general population anxiously await for their turn to get the vaccine, they also have quite a few questions. We asked Riverside County Public Information Officer Brooke Federico to answer the questions that pop up the most frequently. Can someone catch COVID-19 from the vaccines?
No, that's not how the vaccine works, and they're highly effective at protecting people from getting viral illness from COVID-19.
If I get the vaccine, do I still have to wear a mask and practice social distancing?
This is a really important question and something that we want all of our residents to understand. The vaccine is just now getting rolled out into the community, and it will take time before we have a majority of the population who have taken the vaccine. So until we reach that level, it's really important that we continue to wear face coverings and keep 6 feet of social distancing from people we don't live with. It's also important because that's the immediate way we have of slowing down this virus spread.
Do I need the vaccine even if I've already contracted COVID-19?
We are currently recommending that individuals who have recovered from COVID-19 wait 90 days to get their vaccine shot once they're eligible.
What is the cost of the COVID-19 vaccine?
The COVID-19 vaccine is free. I do want to remind residents, if anyone tells them that they are offered to purchase the vaccine from any source, to be on high alert that is a scam. That is not something that is being offered by any approved provider for the vaccine.
You can keep an eye on the county website as it's updated daily, or contact your healthcare provider with additional questions. With new information on COVID-19 and the vaccine coming out at an unprecedented pace, it is important to stay in the know.
You can find the link to the county's vaccine website and more need-to-know information on our Spirit of Innovation website. With states' stay-at-home orders lifted, many businesses can resume either indoor or outdoor operations. However, as stated by the Riverside County Board of Supervisors Chair Karen Spiegel, we cannot lose sight of the fact that coronavirus continues to be widespread throughout all of Southern California. It is absolutely critical that we continue to wear masks, avoid gatherings, and practice good hygiene to slow the spread. There are some new laws that went into effect on January 1st that all Californians should know about. COVID reporting is now in the law books with Assembly Bill 685. The new mandate requires businesses to notify employees within 1 business day if they have been exposed to COVID at work. I met with Human Resources consultant Jan Smith to find out more.
Cal OSHA has made it really simple for employers of all sizes to go onto their website, and they provide a model COVID CPP program that covers training of the individuals at the workplace. It covers the disinfection program, sanitation program, the reporting program.
The CPP outlines who is notified and how, so that employers can easily comply with the new mandate and protect their employees.
Now, there's a couple of different reporting pieces to the CPP as well. And the first one is to the individuals who had exposure to somebody in the workplace who came down with the virus. The second is that they would have to notify the public health department. This is if there is what's called a major outbreak. And a major outbreak is 3 or more COVID lab confirmed tested positives within a 2-week period. The third reporting is that they must contact their workers' comp carrier for every case that's positive in the workplace. And then the fourth reporting would be on what's called the log 300. This is an OSHA log. This is not new. It's just that we're adding the COVID piece to it now.
And why do you feel this sort of law was necessary to implement?
I think it's to keep employees safe in the workplace. You know, we will not be able to reopen fully until we can really kind of put some boundaries around this virus in the workplace.
Another new law provides expanded family leave for most workers. Previously, only companies with 50 or more employees had to offer family leave. Now, under SB 1383, employers with 5 or more employees are required to provide family leave of up to 12 weeks for those who have been with the company for at least 1,250 hours within the previous 12 months. Here's Jan Smith with more information.
Specifically, what they can employees can expect is that they would be able to have 12 weeks of unpaid but job-protected leave to care for themselves or family members for a major illness. It has also always been what we call the baby bond leave. Employees would use that when they were finished with their pregnancy disability leave. And the leave has been extended to cover more people in your family. It covers a broader group to cover grandparents and parents, domestic partner and their children, all adult children, and legally married spouse.
For the first time since its inception, the California Family Rights Act will also cover active members of the military.
We have a major military base here in Southern California, so we have a lot of people in the armed forces here. And this covers the employee's spouse, domestic partner, child or parent that is in the armed forces. So there's some broader coverage in this than there's ever been in the past.
Another new law is the Calsavers Program, which requires employers to enroll their employees in a retirement savings plan, which deducts a portion of each employee's paycheck into a savings account, unless the employee opts out. The deadline for companies with over 100 employees to register with the state Calsavers Program was in September of 2020. Those with over 50 employees must comply by June 30th, and businesses with 5 or more employees have until June of 2022. Prior to the new enactment of SB 855, state law only required treatment for the most serious mental health issues. But now, all mental health and substance use disorders will be covered by insurance. California has become the first state to take a serious look at slavery reparations. AB 3121 mandates a 9-person committee to research California's complicity in slavery and formulate a plan for some type of reparations. This may come in the form of direct cash payments, subsidized education, healthcare, and/or housing. While the Riverside County sheriffs banned chokeholds in June of 2020, AB 392 and SB 230 are 2 new state laws that aim to improve policing and officially ban the use of 2 controversial and potentially deadly neck restraints. In addition, whenever an unarmed suspect is killed by an officer, the state attorney general will head the investigation into the incident. Last summer, Spirit of Innovation was on the scene to cover local protests that called for this kind of legislative change. Temecula immediately took action, as well as formed the Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Panel, also referred to as READY. They met officially for the first time on January 14th. Now here's an update to Riverside County's 2018 law regulating cannabis.
In February 2019, we put a spotlight on the new laws legalizing retail sales and recreational use of marijuana and its effect on Riverside County. Because new regulations have been implemented, we are revisiting the topic for a closer look at this industry and the ordinance that governs it.
Recreational marijuana use is now allowed in 16 states, and last month, the United States Congress voted to decriminalize cannabis across the entire country. In 2018, the Riverside County Board of Supervisors approved Ordinance 348, which included permissions for commercial cannabis operations. Last November, the ordinance was updated to also regulate hemp cultivation.
In December of 2018, the Farm Bill was approved, which basically made it legal for U.S. farmers to grow, process, and sell hemp. It also legalized hemp nationwide, pretty much any use, which included the extraction of CBD. Until now, you could just grow hemp anywhere, and there was no regulations. It was just like any other agricultural product. We have 1,000-foot setbacks from all the sensitive uses, residentially zoned property, K through 12 schools, daycare centers, parks. We really wanted to try to protect our children.
Ordinance 348 also regulates the cultivation and distribution of cannabis, which contains high amounts of THC, a psychoactive property. Hemp has very little of this ingredient.
In creating the cannabis regulations, we are trying to push as many legal operations so that those will push out the ones that are illegal. By making them legal, we can monitor them. We can make sure that they're being environmentally friendly. We can make sure that they're abiding by all the regulations, because they're not only have to abide by our regulations, but also the states.
Some marijuana growers are ignoring regulations. A recent raid on an illegal marijuana farm in Riverside County by the Department of Fish and Wildlife netted $36 million worth of cannabis.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Office, our TLMA Code Enforcement, and the California Department of Fish and Game, their law enforcement division, will work together to remove illegal cultivation sites. And it hopefully will result in an industry that provides a safer product for the public as we get into the regulated and licensed activity.
New amendments to Ordinance 348 also address retail dispensaries, which were initially required to be no closer than 1,000 feet from each other.
When we first started the commercial cannabis ordinance, we set apart the retail sales. But as we got more into it and we got an understanding of where cannabis retailers want to be located and the market conditions, we understood that they needed to be clustered a little bit because we have very few commercial areas in our county. So the county just adopted a policy to allow for no setback requirements in freeway adjacent commercial corridor areas of the unincorporated county.
While the county ordinance applies to unincorporated areas, our cities decide, with the input of its residents, whether or not to allow cannabis cultivation and other dispensaries within their boundaries.
The City of Wildomar City Council did approve cannabis dispensaries and testing and all that goes with it. Because there is a need, there are residents that are looking for this use, and it is a permitted use.
On December 16th, the Wildomar City Council unanimously passed the motion to approve one cannabis dispensary and overwhelmingly passed the second with only one vote against.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
No. So when the cannabis issue was coming to town, we hired a company to do a survey. And the survey did poll 900 registered voters in the city of Wildomar. And from there, we could tell that this was something that actually the voters didn't want. So I have to represent my district. I'm District 4. So I did vote no. Personally, I don't have a feeling one way or another. For the locations in the city of Wildomar, we're a bit different than the cities of Elsinore and Paris because we have approved the dispensaries to be allowed in the retail centers. So one of the places, Authentic, is going into the Hidden Springs Shopping Center. Their projected revenue for the first year is $10.5 million. And so from that, sales tax. So before we get 1 penny, so we get 1 penny per every dollar spent on cannabis, but the voters have approved that 2 cent for the city of Wildomar. And so we actually get 2 cents. So our projected revenue from that one dispensary is about $210,000. Now those are projected. And then the city council can decide how they want to, where to put that money. Do we want to put it into more police? Do we want to put it into more roads?
As more research is conducted and appropriate regulations are put in place, perhaps the cannabis growers and retailers of Riverside County will find their place in the legal market and continue to contribute to a growing economy.
Many of us are spending more time outside, even if it's just hanging out on the patio with family. With the temperatures dipping, you might be tempted to stay indoors, but there's no need when you have little heaters that you can make yourself. Pre-apprentice Aaron Porras will show you how it's done.
Thanks, Gabriella, and welcome to this year's Winter Craft Hack. This month, I'm bringing you a craft, how to make a terracotta heater. You will need a terracotta flower pot, a saucer, some tea light candles, a round stainless steel cutlery drainer, and a lighter. First, set some candles in the cutlery drainer, then set the drainer on the saucer like so. For the creative hack makers, decorate any way you want. Because we are painting on terracotta, you will need a specific paint that can stay on without melting from the heat. For the next step, supervision may be required as you always need to take special precaution when using an open flame. You grab your lighter and carefully light the candle inside the cutlery drainer. Then, place the flower pot over the flame on the cutlery drainer. And there you go! How wonderful! It sure heats up the surrounding area nicely. Not only does this cost less than buying a portable heater, the candle inside will make your home look warm and bright. Please be aware that the outside of the terracotta pot will get very hot, so Be careful when you're ready to blow out the candle or replace it with a new one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Erin Porce, and I hope you enjoyed this crafty winter hat. With everything going on in the world right now, it's good to know that there are positive things happening in our community. Here's Gabriella with local feel-good stories that are sure to warm your heart.
Thank you, Erin. I'm here at Jacob's house, located in the middle of Temecula. Since 2013, it has been a saving grace for distraught families dealing with loved ones in the hospital. To date, Jacob's house has helped more than 1,000 families in need. The house assists with lodging, meals, laundry, and ancillary services free of charge. To accommodate these services as a nonprofit, it is no surprise that the organization deals with financial troubles. In an effort to lower utility expenses, the board of directors wanted to install solar panels, but quickly learned it came with a big-ticket price. Fortunately, many volunteers stepped up to provide a light at the end of the tunnel.
Who spearheaded the donations for this solar project?
In this case, it sort of all came together almost by itself. So it was, a project that we knew we wanted and needed, but we couldn't quite get over the cost of it. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we got a phone call from the owner of Transform Power in Temecula, and he was looking for a charitable cause that he could donate his services to, and he agreed that he would donate the labor towards a solar installation. And that brought the cost of the thing way down. And he talked to his suppliers, and they were able to give him some discounts on materials. About that same time, we had been aware of 100 Women Who Care Temecula Valley. Fortunately, we were able to receive their grant. And it was 52 of their members, and they each wrote a check for $100 each. It also turns out that when 100 Women Who Care Temecula Valley, when they provide a donation to a local charity, Best Buy matches 50% of their contribution. So that brought us even closer.
Even with all this help, Jacob's house still needed more funds to complete the project. And fortunately, a community member stepped up.
There was an individual that became aware of what we were doing and wanted to donate. This person came by, made a very generous donation to Jacob's house and put us over the top. And he did so in memory of his deceased daughter. He was really moved by what we do at Jacob's house, and we were very moved by his contribution. And there is a message inscribed on one of the solar panels up on the roof to his daughter in her memory. And every time we look at that solar installation, we remember that, and we remember her.
Yeah, that is the perfect example of community support.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about it, it brought a huge benefit to us. Not only in terms of the money that we needed, but also, by knocking out our electric bill for, perpetuity or 15 years, that's a huge monthly savings to us. We sort of operate on a thin margin. It's all donations, it's all volunteers. So that knocking out our electric bill is a big deal for us.
The 39 panels will save Jacob's house $400 a month. The community coming together to further fulfill this organization's unselfish efforts proves there is plenty of goodwill in the community. Being the light in someone's darkest moments is the spirit we love to highlight. Another spirit to mention took place in the city of Riverside last month when the Human Rights Campaign awarded the city with the highest possible score of 100 in a nationwide evaluation of LGBTQ inclusion. This is an increase from last year's score of 91 and a big improvement from 2018's score of 65. The city received points for prohibiting discrimination in city employment and its contracting process, and for offering benefits to domestic partners of city employees. The city also has a lesbian city council member, an LGBTQ liaison in the city manager's office, and a human relations commission.
It's a wonderful thing to see the city of Riverside now with a lesbian councilwoman, with a lot of policies that are very positive that have been instituted over a period of time. And so I'm just happy to see the progress. My period of time with the city from 1980 to 2000 was a time that I was also involved with my partner establishing a political action committee where we were trying to work on a local but also on a statewide level to get some changes. We didn't have our eyes at that time on gay marriage or anything that was extraordinary. It was just so that people could survive in their life. One of the laws that I was involved in having passed at the time was the law that any contractor who was going to contract with the city of Riverside had to include a clause of non-discrimination on the basis of HIV or AIDS and LGBT. And so this was before this was the law in the state of California.
Even though the city of Riverside received such high rankings and such a high score, what improvements in inclusion do you still feel need to be made?
Any kind of a recommendation regarding attitudes and people's behavior have to be followed up with constant awareness, constant sensitivity, a commitment to make what has been adopted as a policy or as a law or as a program is always respected. And you can't make everything change with a magical wave of the wand, but it's a tremendous, more than a first step. It's a tremendous fact for Riverside.
Riverside County cities, Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage, Cathedral City, they also received the maximum score of 100. Does this represent a positive trend in Riverside County?
Oh, most definitely. And I'm glad. I mean, the desert out there, they're the gay mecca, and it's very normal to go to Palm Springs, see gay men and women walking down the street holding hands. It's very common to see trans people in the workplace, on the front counter. The more we emulate, what the Palm Springs area is doing, the better it will be for the Inland Empire.
You can go to our website to find out how other Riverside County cities scored in LGBTQ inclusion. We also have a link to Connie Confer's full interview where she talks about how her work for the city of Riverside affected change for the LGBTQ community. I have some good news for business owners. The Paycheck Protection Program is back as of January 11th. This small business administration loan provides incentives to keep workers on payroll and is forgiven if all employee retention criteria are met. The SBA is also accepting applications for second draw PPP loans to further help businesses who initially received these funds last year. Now it's time to share some fun community events. Missing creative energy in your life? The Riverside Art Walk might not be taking place in person, but you can still enjoy local talent via Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag DT Riverside Arts Walk next Thursday, February 4th, and every first Thursday moving forward. Speaking of creativity, DigiFest entries are open. Whether you are a filmmaker, graphic designer, photographer, talent, or anything in between, submit your best work for a chance to win not only a Digi, but an IMDb credit on the Internet Movie Database site. This is JDS Creative Academy's 5th year of bringing industry trendsetters together for a digital experience like no other. Taking place April 16th, 17th, and 18th. Submit your work now. Need some new reading material? Friends of the Library have an abundance of affordable books available for purchase every second Saturday at the Louis Rubidoux Library in the city of Riverside. Proceeds go to children, teen, adult, family, and community library programs. If you really want to start 2021 off right, try volunteering your time to a worthy cause. Riverside County has a number of service opportunities that include helping seniors or individuals in crisis, volunteer firefighting, and let's not forget the needs of orphaned pets in our county shelters. You can learn more about all of these on our website. Thank you for watching Spirit of Innovation. Be sure and stay connected to our social media for our social updates, and be sure to listen to our SOI training crew with the JDS Creative Academy news update on radio station 102.5 The Vine. You can find Spirit of Innovation on local TV stations throughout the county, YouTube, all social media platforms, and our website, spiritofinnovation.org. Follow the hashtag JDS Family to stay in contact with us. We love hearing from our viewers, so let us know if there's a Riverside County issue or happening that you want us to cover. Thanks again for watching. SOI out.